Alright, as promised, we are into part 2 of the mid-season gradings for the 2024 AFL season at the moment. So we'll just get into it. Got a new setup, which is nice to see, and we'll be doing the second half of teams in this video. If you haven't watched the first video yet, go ahead and remember to like and subscribe. Alright, first team we'll be getting into is the Melbourne Demons, who, just say they've had an interesting season. Obviously, they had such an off-season of controversy the season prior, and they just feel like were hit with such terrible news headlines throughout the off-season. Like, they had the Joel Smith saga and situation and what Kyle Noble was doing, and I thought they did a really good job originally at avoiding that and being able to circumcise the situation of it. But as this season has gone on, I feel like the weight of that has come through, which has seriously affected their performance. Like, the last 2 games in particular have just been terrible from them. In particular, that Freo game, which was easily the worst performance I've seen from a team this season easily. They quit in that game. Straight up. Like, the forward line, it's been terrible as always, but I feel like it's gone even worse. It's gone to a point where the midfield and defense is legitimately checked out at this time. Where it's like, they're like, we are sick of carrying you. Can you just be able to score a winning score for once in your life? And they just stop caring and just let up easy goals. And I also feel like the midfield has been seriously impacted by the departure of Angus Brayshaw. And now with Christian Petrarca out for the whole year, it's going to be rough to come back. I don't see this team making the finals at all. I think this is a bit of a hibernation year for Melbourne, and they've really got to do something with free agency to fix their build. Because at the moment it is uninspiring. I've given them an E. If it weren't for the Adelaide road trip, I'd definitely give them an F, but that shows that there is a little bit you can take out of this, but only just a little bit. It's probably, it started off decent, but the last 2 weeks in particular have tanked this rank well and truly. Next team we are going to talk about is North Melbourne, who, well, unlike Melbourne, they were expected to be bad, but I think there was a little bit more improvement than we expected of North Melbourne this time, and to see where they are at the moment is actually quite disappointing. As like, you'd thought they'd be way better than this. They got their first win against West Coast last week, but you still thought they'd be so much better than this. It's funny, like, Cam Zerha originally said he wanted to stick with the build and thought this team could make finals, which was obviously the classic build up this team as much as you can sneak, and now he's talking about wanting to leave the club at the end of the year, which is just so funny to say. They've got some good pieces in their midfield and forward line. I think Larky and Davis Uniacke they need to try and keep on to as much as possible, but everything else definitely needs a bit of work, and I wonder if Arthur Carkman's the right pickup, as he looks like he's lost it well and truly so far this season, which has been just absolutely rough for them to see. Overall, because of the serious lack of improvement, I've had to give them an F for this one. It's rough, but yeah, bottom of the ladder, not much has gone wrong. I think they were expected to be this, but I don't know, I didn't expect them to be this bad, which is why I've given them the rank they have. Alright, next team we'll be going on to is Port Adelaide, who are having the kind of season I expected of them. They are currently 5th on the ladder, and insanely enough, if they beat GWS, they will go into 2nd. To despite this, I'm not sure, like, definitely their own fans don't think this, but a lot of people aren't truly trusting them as a legitimate contender at the moment. Like, there's still a lot of trust issues because they've lost games against teams they should beat comprehensively still at the moment. I think they're just doing what they can. I think they'll play finals. What they'll do in finals, we'll see, but like, they're just doing what they can. Their midfield's playing quite well. I feel like their forward line, maybe a bit of concern about how Charlie Dixon is going. But their defense has definitely improved. Like, Asabra Agulia and Brenzo Thatcher were incredible players to bring into this club. Like, their defense has 100% improved. And overall, like, I think there is a lot of stuff to build in the second half, but they need to win a few more games, like, against big quality sides for us to trust them a bit more. I've given them a B- at the moment, as I think they're doing well, all things considered, with what they can do, but there's just a little bit more that they can work on to improve in the second half to make a good season a great season. Almost like John Collingwood. Alright, next team we'll be talking about is Richmond, who have had an interesting campaign. First season under Adam Uze, I think expectations were a little bit high. Like, not many people thought they were going to make the 8, but a lot of people thought they'd be better than 2 wins at the moment. One of them they got last week, I'll give them credit. But like, it's clear that this incredible era that has brought so much joy to Tiger fans and so much excitement to general AFL fans is truly coming to an end. They've got Dusty's 300th this week, actually happening probably right after I edit this, which will be very fun to see. And overall, they've got a lot to build on. They've had some good patches. Like, they still are the only team that's beaten Sydney this year, which I find so funny. But yet, despite this, I feel like their defense has been opened up a little bit. Their midfield definitely needs a little bit of work. And I think they still need some other guys to come in for the next generation. It's clear that the Tigers may have to move on from some stars like Liam Baker in the off-season. But the question is, will they want to be stuck in with the build? Richmond fans will support them. The question for them is, will they want to stay with the build that is going on? So this is definitely a start of a new era for Richmond. If it weren't for last week, I would have given them an F, but all things considered, especially considering that terrible injury list, I'm just going to give them an E at the moment. E for effort. It's definitely an E for effort, as I think they've been trying their best. And I think Uze has had some strong strategies in year 1, but just need to see a little bit more in the second half. Next team we'll be talking about is St Kilda. God, now that I think about it, there are a lot of disappointing teams in this half of the latter half of the roster. But they played finals last year in 6, but this season has just been an absolute disaster for them. Any which way you cut it, it's just been kind of a disaster. Overall, they've gone backward in so many categories. They've become quite and such a boring team to watch this season, which has been so disappointing to see. Legitimately so disappointing to see. I think their midfield has definitely gone backwards. Roll Marshall definitely isn't having as good as a year as he had last year. I think Max King needs to show just a little bit more in the forward line. And overall, I think their game plan is just so less sustainable and is not good in the current game, which Ross Lyon is going to have to figure out and work on in the coming weeks. If they are going to get something out of 2025, I don't think they're playing finals in 2024. I don't think they are. So building towards 2025 might be what they try and do in the second half. But For a team that like made finals last year, was expected to make a bit of a jump. I had them out of the A personally. I thought they didn't do well in Francie. But many others thought they would make a jump, maybe even to that contender status, and it's just been so disappointing. Other than that Collingwood game, which was an out-of-form Collingwood, they've just been quite disappointing. So I've given them an F for this, unfortunately. Sorry, Saints fans. I want to give you better because I do like you guys. But, yeah, them's the breaks. Now we get into the team that has easily been the best team of the competition to open this first half of the season. Sydney. This team has arguably gotten everything right so far. Their midfield. I cannot remember. There's not much midfields in my life that are truly in the elite status to the point where it can carry you to a premiership. I think this midfield of Warner, Heaney, and Goulden is up there. These three, if you can't stop them, you're not beating Sydney, and no one's been able to stop them. It's like a whack-a-mole game. You shut one down, the other comes up. You shut two down, the other comes up. Like, we talk about Petrarca and Oliver a lot, but how about three, not two, in the same situation? It's just so scary, and they're all homegrown talent. They're all majority steals from this phenomenal Swans organisation, which has been incredible to say. They've had the recruit of the year in Brodie Grundy, who's, like, we knew at the time him coming into Sydney was going to be phenomenal for them, but we did not realise just how good it was going to be. He has completely changed this team, and I think truly unlocked their new potential. And, oh yeah, they've got scoring power plenty, which for year one of post-Buddy was not what we thought was going to happen at all. Like Tom Papley's been incredible in the small forward category. Logan McDonald has continued his insane progression, and John Longmire is definitely in contention for Coach of the Year at the moment. One loss for the season entirely, and that's only to Richmond. It's been the perfect campaign. If they build on this so much more, they will probably end up with the Premiership Cup at the end of the season. It's an A+. You cannot go better than how they have at the moment. Almost perfect campaign. It'd be really funny though if they win a Premiership year one post-Buddy up, they that much get one with him. Alright, next team is the West Coast Eagles, who I think the big story of their season has been Harley Reid versus without Harley Reid. Like, Harley Reid is everything we thought that he was going to be. The dude is a total stud. Total fucking stud. He is just incredible. Like, he is the best first year player I think I've seen in my lifetime. I'm gonna say it. Best first year player I've seen in my lifetime. He's everything he was hyped up to be, and honestly, just seeing how good they will be, just seeing what Harley Reid could look like, is enough for Eagles fans to get excited and to get something out of this season. Without him, it's the same story as last year. They're terrible, but with him, the legitimate signs are there. There's legitimate signs, and it's so exciting to see. Overall, everything else probably needs no introduction. Midfield's probably a little bit yikes. They've probably got the worst ruckman in the league, no offense. But another thing that has been great to come out of the season for them is Jake Wardman up forward, also known as Wayne Carey for the whole year apparently. Dude went from average to killing defenses every week. It's insane, his turnaround, and it's been one of the greatest stories of the year, legitimately. So yeah, like, there's enough out of this season for West Coast to be excited about the future, which is why I've given them a C. C+. Because, like, whilst they are bad without Reed, with him, they can see what they may be like in the future. They can see that they're building towards something, which is very exciting to see. Such a shame that Reed's going to lose the Rising Star to a freaking suspension, though. That rule really needs to be changed. And finally, we have the Western Bulldogs, who I might feel sick talking about because they really are a wild ride. I keep calling them Bevo's wild ride, and they really are. It's like every time you think they're going to win, they lose. And every time you think they're going to lose, they win. They're the impossible team to tip and tipping at the moment. Like, their team is so good on paper. They've got arguably the best forward line on paper in the game with Darcy, Ugelhagen, and Norton. That big three is something so many teams would kill for. Like, it's ridiculous. And like, they've got such potent weapons being able to give it the ball to them. They've got the best player in the game, Marcus Bontempelli, be able to give the ball to them. They've got good small forward options in Cody Waitman. They've got a quietly solid defense with Alex Keefe and Liam Jones. So like, they're really strong on paper, but just they haven't been able to put it all together, unfortunately. And every time we think they can make a jump, they kind of drop off. Like, I would love to see them get out of this and show what they are legitimately consistently about, because they are amazing when they show it. It just hasn't been there all season. And I guess that's the challenge for them in the second half, to be able to show it for the rest of this season. I've given them a B- because there's signs that they could be greater, but there's also signs that they could miss the 8. So going somewhere in the middle with a minus rank feels the right thing for them. And that's every team graded for the mid-season point. Obviously, this could change in the second half. And yeah, make sure you go watch the part 1 that came out yesterday, and hope to see you again possibly tomorrow for a recap.